Pull him dude.
Grab the shoulder ring.
I'm offended. Close the phone.
Ah! Quick, we gotta assert dominance. Okay, awesome. A dog? Then, like, the guy with his dog came into the drive-thru and went to this dog, and if it wants. So, like,
What's that game that's just quick time events? God of War? No!
I think there's still one person in the bathroom.
Austin.
Oh, okay. We can go on without him.
Yes. Hey, we're going.
No, we better awesome.
Why don't you follow?
Everything is.
Okay, now be good and pay attention.
We're going to do a tour of Fort Missoula so that you guys can start thinking about where would be good to film your documentary. Do you guys have any ideas already about what subject you might want to talk about? Or are you trying to get some inspiration here? Inspiration here? Yeah. Does anybody have like a favorite part of history? What's your favorite part?
I think I really like the gold era.
Okay, the gold rush.
No,
and stuff.
Hellgate era.
Hellgate's pretty sweet. We definitely have some good Hellgate stuff. Damon.
World War II.
World War II, we have some World War II stuff too. In the back there.
Oh, like a wheel from the shelf. We looked over the whole place, but it was actually a glass container from there.
That is an X-ray machine for figuring out your shoe size.
Cool. That's neat.
They're so creepy.
Look at this.
The bike soldiers are a really interesting part of our about logging. We got this super sweet kind of explorer, but whatever they don't know, I will try to figure it out, or I'll just make something up when you come back. Just kidding. Okay, so
Can you look up the bus map
yes,
for
I
them?
will.
Awesome. I thought we would have one here.
We had them.
We had them,
But I'll look it up right now so I don't forget.
also, I don't even know where the line is after that. But all right, so
I went up there.
yeah, we're going. Well, you're about to go up again. So we're gonna kind of do every single building so you all can see everything. Probably we'll try and go not super slow, just so you have some time to think afterwards. But yeah, let's go start with fire lookout.
My downfall is gonna be stairs.
It used to be on Slide Rock Mountain, which was a little bit east of Missoula. It's kind of by Drummond. And so this tower actually used to have a whole nother flight of stairs.
So it was even taller.
And they would come with everything they needed for the summer, all of their food, books, cooking supplies, sometimes even the mattresses. And they would spend the entire summer up here alone in this tower.
Why donkeys?
Because they're good for supporting, they're strong.
So this logging car was actually owned by the Anaconda Mining Company. Why would a library that follows around loggers be owned by a mining company? Like, why would the mining company care about loggers? What do you think?
Because the tracks maybe run through the mining pits.
So yeah, you need to get lumbers to build tracks. October 25th, 1929, Black Friday. Panic grips the stock exchange. Just super cool that we have that.
Stupid disposable cup.
What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing?
I'm just getting rid of my disposable cup.
products in general are very underused. People only use them one time, and yet they're so sturdy that they can be used twice. Say for this helmet. Ow! Okay, never mind. I mean, paper cups are only used once, but instead you can just take this nice drink. Refreshing. Now you try having paper cups or drinking out of the water fountain.
No thank you. I'm not thirsty.
I said drink. Great, now we can move on with our tour. Now if you just follow me. And that's why you always recycle your bottles at the bottle recycling plant. Fire's nemesis. You pick the newspaper up right now.
I don't feel like it.
His powers of apathy are too strong. We have to use violence.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Violence. Yeah.
Ow.
Violence. So, have you learned your lesson about recycling?
You want to go home?
I see.
You're scary.
Refreshing.
Just like any man, he has his problems. But one thing that he likes more than causing problems is drinking. So much drinking. He forgets who he is. And then he turns, runs, hides, and he continues to do what he does. This is Evan Javeski.
What a wonderful day today.
Hey, what do you got there?
This is my football. It was signed by LeBron James.
What are you talking about? I thought LeBron James played basketball.
What are you talking about? I thought Tom Brady played basketball.
That doesn't even make any sense. And who's that guy?
This is Evan Javeski's caretaker, Rick. He's a good guy.
Oh, you mean my good friend, Rodriguez.
What?
He used to play golf with me in my pastime. It was a really wonderful time. You know, with, who is it? Babe Ruth. Played golf with me. It's pretty great.
Evan Javeski is actually clinically insane and banned in 30 states due to his crimes.
I honestly don't feel safe with you. You are obviously a little monkey. Probably have some sort of dementia. I'm gonna go get the police, okay? They're gonna help you. You know? Okay, just stay there, okay?
Oh, God, this reminds me of this one time when George Clooney told me about the war, about Quaker oats and Japanese noodles, and how everybody shoved them into boots and started throwing them at each other, and it was really crazy. I didn't really understand what was going on. This football is like, they move sometimes. I don't know, where am I? Who am I?
It was at this point where Evan Javeski was questioning everything in his life. He didn't know who he was.
Who's talking?
It's the narrator.
You pipe down. Don't say that thing. I
are.
am not mentally
You
ill.
are mentally ill.
Whatever. Come on, Ramirez. Let's
They
go.
head off. They're going to be going
Let's
to
go,
a ice cream
Ramirez.
place. Downtown, probably Sweet Peaks. You're a
Ridiculous.
crazy person.
I'm telling you, officer, I'm serious. There's this guy and he's got dementia. He's crazy. He doesn't know his sports facts. He's obviously abusing an animal. You gotta help me. Show him something that he won't forget. Why is this bag so freaking heavy? It's because it has so much money and wet towelette. Really? Get it! My head. Oh, kitty! I'm gonna get you! I'm gonna get you! Oh, you! The team you can go through walls! Is that one of your superpowers? Seem not to be! There! This isn't fun, is it? Well, it is for me. Singing while causing pain. I'm singing while causing pain. What a glorious feeling. I'm causing more pain. I'm causing pain. It feels like it's gonna wane. I like to. I'm trapped, I'm trapped, I'm trapped. Very uncomfortable. Now I know what Grandpa feels like. Why did you put me in this position? Get it? Ha. Okay, you're not in a comfortable position. Try this. Ha! Now I have you trapped. Bad kitty. Any last request? How about a bomb? Okay. And a bunch of money. Can I please have your money? No. Ow!
Oliver.
I'll get you one day, kitty. I'll get you. I'll get you. I'll get you in your doggy foot.
Okay, cut.
Ha! Now I have you trapped. Back kitty. Back kitty. Someone else beat a taco?
Fight me.
No, 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 don't die.
In 1983, Slide Rock Lookout was brought to Fort Missoula. Today, we look at what it was like to live in the tower and the hardships that came with it. We interview a fireman living in the tower to get a greater inside look.
I'm up here almost the entire day. 23 hours on an average day. I'm sitting up here in the tower. Sometimes I go and explore outside a little bit more, but most of the day I'm up here. Daily routine up here is pretty standard. I wake up every morning right when the sun hits the windows. It's pretty bright up here. So wake up in the morning, typically make a little food. I have some canned meats that I throw on the stove over there. Then at some point every day I have to go walk about 1.5 miles to the nearest river so I can grab a little bit of water, because there's certainly no water up here. Then I just come up here and typically I read a book out there. Just set up a chair and look out and just enjoy the view every day till dinner. Gets pretty hot up here some days. It also gets pretty cold. We're on top of the mountains, so the highs are pretty high when the sun starts beating down. It's like a fishbowl in here. And so the sun all comes in, and just like this place can get baking in the middle of the day, especially on top of the mountain with no tree cover. But at night the temperature gets down way lower, so for most of the day it's pretty cool up here, but during the heat of the midday it can get pretty warm. But if you just go sit out on the patio out there on the deck, it's much more comfortable. I'd say about 3 liters of water is what I get. It is really hard. I typically try and go down every day or at least every other day to get some water, because if you've never carried water in the woods, it isn't super easy. So I have to go get water about every day, every other day. If at the most 2 days is the longest I'll go without going to get some water, because it's heavier than you think it's going to be. So if I go down to the creek every day, then I don't have to carry too much up. But if I go much longer than 2 days, then I end up carrying a ton of water, and that's just challenging. Yeah, at the beginning of summer, I typically bring up as much food as I can. Brought it up on a mule this year, and I had to carry. I store up here enough food for about 6 weeks, but typically about halfway through the summer I get a drop off. So after about a month I get a drop off of some food, and then I don't have to, just some resupply about halfway through the summer. So there's a lot of food up here that we have to store.
Missoula County librarian, Ruth, came to the leaders of the Anaconda Logging Company. She told them she wanted to provide books for the workers. Instantly, the owners of the company opposed because they knew that if the workers got smarter by reading, they would start asking for higher pay and more rights. Ruth finally convinced the bosses to give the workers the books. She sent the books to a man named Kenneth Ross. Ross had a cart made that was 14 feet wide and 40 feet long. The cart even included sleeping quarters for the traveling librarian. Every Sunday, 60 men would bring back their books. The library became more and more popular with every visit it made. The library was referred to as Lumberman's Library. In 1926, the car saw over 5,000 visitors and 3,195 books were checked out. Even after the logging company closed, the library still traveled around letting many people read. Today, the library stands at the historic Fort Missoula in Missoula, Montana. You can visit it and have as much fun as I did.
During World War II, the ADC held 1,200 Italian men. And also during World War II, the ADC held 1,000 Japanese men. And another thing that the ADC held was 23 non-military German men and 123 Japanese Italian men. And then also during World War II, Fort Missoula was turned into the Department of Justice. And after Pearl Harbor, the FBI arrested more than 1,000 Japanese leaders and held them at the ADC. Most German aliens were held at Fort Missoula for short periods of time and were sent off to a different camp. I'm not sure off the top of my head right now. The prisoners at Fort Missoula were given a list of things to do in their free time. They had English lessons, arts and crafts, and much more stuff to do. The Italian men were salesmen over the sea, and they also were World Fair employees. And that's how we caught some non-military men and put them in the ADC to make it easier, so we were, like we said, we were in the war, but not exactly in the war. And then lastly, Fort Missoula changed to accommodate in 4 different ways. One way was making a fence around the yard with a top with barbed wire. I mean, it's a 10-foot fence though, so it would make it easier. And then the other 3 are listed at historicalmuseumoffortmissoula.org.
From 1941 to 1944, Fort Missoula served as a detention center for more than 1,000 Italians, more than 1,000 Japanese, and 22 German nationalists. The Italians were the world's fair workers and civilian seamen whose ships had been impounded at the outbreak of the war in Europe. The Japanese were prominent in their West Coast communities and were considered potentially dangerous. None in either group were ever charged with being or proven to be enemy agents. This memorial is dedicated to those men who were interned and held at Fort Missoula without trial during World War II. May this event be remembered.
Hi, I'm Billy, and this is my homestead house. This is Mama Joe, Papa Joe, and Finn. Mama Joe, what are you doing?
I'm making some blueberry jam.
Blueberry?
Yeah. I'm making some blueberry jam.
Oh, Grandma. Finn, what are you doing again? I'm pretty! Well, this child's cuss. Hey, Grandpa.
Hi, hey, how are you? What's your name again?
Grandpa, you know me.
No, I don't. Who the hell are you?
What are you doing with that carrot,
Well,
Grandpa?
I'm just trying to shave my face with a carrot because I'm bat crazy.
Good thing you know that, Grandpa.
You know, the other day, Grandma bit the head off a live chicken.
Really, Grandpa?
For 4th of July. She does it every 4th of July. People come from all over the county to see her do it. She can rip the head off a chicken in a second. Blood was spurting everywhere. The chicken ran off with his head cut off, ran for 30 yards without a head. Where's mine? Lou, you got any more of that pie?
I'm making you some fresh.
You got any more of that pie, Lou?
We're getting fresh.
Well, Grandma, what are you doing now?
I'm churning some butter here, so we have some fresh butter.
Really?
Really? Some fresh heavy cream in there, making butter.
Okay, that's so great. Good thing we'll have some butter later.
Absolutely.
Thing, what are you doing again? Lollipop. Hey, Papa, what you doing?
Well, I've been eating this here carrot now for about 15 minutes. It occurred to me about halfway down and it's styrofoam.
Uh-oh.
But then I realized in 1867 we didn't have styrofoam, so I'm just going to keep eating it.
What do you have planned for today, Grandpa?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that, young whippersnapper. Today is the day where we dig the new outhouse hole for the new Jiffy John out back.
You want Thing to help you?
Well, actually, Thing is the one that I actually lowered down on a rope. And he goes out and he digs it out with his little spoon. It takes a while, but we get a perfect circular hole.
That's why Thing smells so bad.
And ain't that the truth?
I'm sorry, Papa, but the mule's sick again. I guess I gotta take care of it again.
Why don't you just shoot it, honey?
Well, we have to take care of it, Papa.
All righty. I just as soon shoot it.
Then what are you doing? I'm making coffee. Papa, should I use these brushes for the mule?
Well, you could try them on Grandma, but I don't know if they would work.
Papa, what are you gonna do today, Papa?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what I could do with these two objects. I don't know if I should try and smoke the carrot or grind it onto this spoon. What do you think I should do?
Maybe you should use that spoon for better things, Papa. Not
Well,
smoking carrots.
We do have to dig the new outhouse. Maybe we could do it with this here spoon.
Scoop and poop with a spoon? How
Well-
would we ever use it again for food?
Well, we couldn't use it again for food, but I'm not scooping poop, I'm scooping dirt. The poop comes after I scoop the dirt. First the dirt, then the poop.
Really?
That's the way it works. You try it the other way, it can be a real mess.
Oh, Papa. Grandma, what you doing?
I'm cooking some carrots over here with fresh butter.
Oh, that's so good.
Make a nice lunch for your grandpa.
Well, I've got to be off.
Do you got any more of that pie?
Grandpa! We already ate the pie a week ago.
Well, I want some more pie. Can never get enough of that pie. I love your cherry pie.
You're having carrots.
What about your peach pie? I like your key lime pie, your apricot pie, and I definitely like your sassafras pie.
Oh, Papa, I gotta go take care of the mule.
So the person whose idea it was to start using bicycles for military purposes, his name was James Moss. He was a cadet he went to West Point, which is the U.S. Army Academy, and he actually graduated last in his class. So dead last. He got the worst grades at West Point in his graduating class. So back then, you used to get sent to different locations based on how you do at West Point. So because he was last in his class, he got sent to Fort Missoula, which was considered the least desirable place to go. And he actually, when he was in New York City, he saw a bike race going on, and so ever since then, he was super interested in using bicycles for military purposes.
Yeah, for military purposes.
So at the time, horses were the main form of transportation other than walking, and he noticed that horses, a lot of things can go wrong with horses. They get hungry, they get tired, they can get shot, they can break a leg, they can step on something and hurt their foot. So a lot of things can go wrong with horses. Bicycles, on the other hand, they don't get tired. If something breaks, if they get a flat tire, you can fix it almost immediately. So bicycles would be a lot faster, and they would require less maintenance. They would also be a little quieter, so there were a lot of advantages to using bikes. In 1896, that's basically when they really started exercises. They did their exercises through 1897, and then in 1898, the 25th Infantry actually got sent to Cuba to fight in the Spanish-American War. So the entire infantry, including the commanding officer, James Moss, got sent over to Cuba, and after that, cars started getting manufactured. So cars were vastly superior to either horses or bicycles, so bikes just never really got a chance to be used other than this experiment. So these bikes, totally fitted and totally equipped, would have weighed about 55 pounds. They would have had a gun, a rifle, kind of tied to the frame of the bike going straight out that way, and then you can see this, it's like a box filled with everything they would have needed. So that's like eating utensils, forks, spoons, plates. They would have had a toothbrush in there, a comb, and it all would have been jammed in there. They also would have had their bedroll, just a little roll, and a light blanket is all they would have. And they carried some tents as well. And then one person had to carry extra weight, and it would have been all this stuff for bicycle repairs. So that's like their wrenches, their extra tires, which they would have punctured their tires really frequently, so that guy would have to carry a ton of extra weight. So it would have been pretty hard. Also, those little boxes in there jiggled a ton, and so it would be like really loud because all the metal in there would be jangling together, so it'd be super loud when they were riding those bikes. In 1896, they went from Missoula to Yellowstone Park and back. So that would be like 600 miles was their trip that year. Their second year, the year after, they went from Missoula all the way to St. Louis. They were following some railroad tracks, and it was super tough traveling for them. There were like no roads at the time, so often they were just riding through really rocky fields or maybe some rudimentary trails/roads. And if they had nothing else, which often they didn't even have that, so they would just get off their bikes and walk them along railroad tracks. They were the 25th Infantry, and they actually arrived at Fort Missoula several years before the experiment with the bikes, but they were an all-black unit of soldiers, and at the time got along with the people in town. They actually had, they were really talented men. They had a full band, so they would actually go in town and play in town pretty frequently, and the town would really like that. They would go to parades all the time, and they would play their instruments at parades, and it was just, they were a really interesting group of people. Thanks for coming out here and exploring the fort and exploring the bicycle soldiers.
Lincoln Logs. Come with me as we interview people from the Hellgate era. Interview Mary, Grandma Linda May, and Mr. Bobby Joe. So, Mary, what are you doing?
Well, I'm cleaning clouds, just for my family.
How are you doing this?
Well, first, I scrub it on here, mix it with some water, add soap, squeeze all the water out, and then put it through the strainer.
Oh, cool. Grandma Linda May.
Yes.
How are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm knitting a sweater for my grandson.
Oh,
Yeah.
is there anything special you're gonna?
Well, the yarn is special because this came from the sheep that we grabbed here.
Oh.
We shear the sheep and we dye it and we spin the yarn so that we can make sweaters.
Oh, okay, so what are you doing?
Well, mister, I'm writing my last will and testament. This is 1867, I'm 58, and my life expectancy is only 45, so I'm 8 years past due. And I figured I wanted to give everything to my pig, Louisa May.
Well, is there anything special about this, like, feather?
Yes, if you were to put this under your armpit and swiggle like that, it would make you tickle. You got any other fancy questions?
No.
All right then.
Okay, well, that was very interesting. Come to me is a man being charged. He had no idea he'd been an actor. And this is the judge right behind him, watching his every move. So, why are you here?
Well, that's a good question, Counselor. I feel like I've been wrongly accused of this crime. I haven't even been told why I'm here, and I think that this is a crime against humanity and injustice. And I demand my rights. I demand free counsel.
So,
Yeah.
you, Colin, or whatever your name is, why are you charging this man? So, Joy, what do you think about this man? What do you think?
I'm innocent. I tell you, I'm innocent.
Okay, you believe? Yes.
I believe.
I believe.
Maybe. And, Your Honor, it's time to decide. Even though this jury just decided for you. He's clean.
I'm free, I tell you. Free at last. Free at last. I'm free.
You sure he's not clean?
It's happy hour